From Uganda to Germany, we stand in solidarity with Lützerath. Coal must stop. Lützerath must stay.
Thank you so much for coming, everyone, and for organizing this press conference. My name is Evelyn. I would like to greet all of you. I'm a climate activist from Uganda. I work with Rise Up Movement and Fridays for Future Most Affected People and Areas. I come from Uganda, a country suffering the worst impacts of climate change right now. Devastating floods in West, prolonged droughts, landslides and mudslides. A story was narrated to The Guardian. It was about 1 a.m. on Thursday when Dorothy Masika was woken by the rumble of water and boulders as they crashed down Mount Rwenzori. Then came the alarms raised by those living in the hilltop areas, those who could run, racing down to warn people along the valley and lowlands to run. I realized the disaster was coming. It was a matter of life and death. I ran back to the house to wake up my husband and children. I knocked and alerted our neighbors. The floods and storms are coming to kill us, she says. That night, heavy rains in the area of western Uganda swept away homes, schools, submerged farms, cut off bridges, and left several roads inaccessible, affecting 24,760 houses and an estimated 173,000 people, according to a disaster committee interim assessment report. We couldn't sleep on the hill. It was so cold, the children were crying. There was nothing I could do. We came back in the afternoon after the water had receded and saw the great devastation of the floods. The water destroyed and swept away everything, she says. We have been left homeless and very, very desperate. Where do we start from? We need urgent assistance. We are starving. People are taking dirty water from the stream. Children are in camps. They don't have blankets. They need mosquito nets. People don't have food. This is an incident that happened in the western part of Uganda. But we have the Eastern African drought that has affected millions of people, leaving them food insecure. Floods in southeastern Africa early last year, killed hundreds of people and thousands are still missing up to now. Millions of people in Bangladesh are affected by floods, and now thousands more are stranded in the floods. For the past years, people have been living with loss and damage. Families have lost their houses, their crops, their lives, and no one is paying for that. We are running out of resources, and at the same time, we are depending on debt. But today, finance for addressing loss and damage remains a very big gap. The past weeks exposed major countries like Germany sourcing new fossil fuels abroad and within Germany and parts of Europe, while denying support to developing countries facing disasters from climate-induced superstorms and rising sea levels. For us, funding for loss and damage, climate finance, climate justice, and climate action is an emergency agenda. We can no longer put all our hope in climate conferences and summits because we have not seen drastic action happen at these negotiations, but instead commitments and promises which end up into empty words. Our hope is in the people rising up to speak up for their right to a livable environment. The future for humanity cannot be put up for negotiation. We demand climate justice now. We demand the fossil fuels to be left in the ground. We demand an end to any new fossil fuels. We demand an end to displacing people like the people of Lützerath. We demand an end to making us lose our homes and heritages. We all have a right to live in a peaceable and clean, sustainable environment. Thank you.